Okay, so when it comes to positives and negatives, sometimes having the manipulative can be really helpful for students. And I offer the hot and cold cubes handout. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of walk through a little bit of that with you right now. So hot, red, cold, blue. Okay, makes sense? So one thing that you have to establish when doing this is that a pair of hot and cold equals 0. Okay? So with this setup, I've got 10 of each, but I have 10 of both, right? So they essentially are canceling each other out all along the way. Every pair is a 0 pair, okay? And so if kids are okay with that idea, then this can be really useful. Otherwise, it can be really confusing for them, okay? So since I've only got 10, we're going to do a few examples of these. So if I take out some, all right, so now I have many 0 pairs. And then at the end, I have 3 additional cold cubes, or a -3, okay? That -3 means that there's tons, I mean, really, this is an infinite amount. I just don't have an infinite amount of cubes, okay? That's my first number. Now my second number, adding or subtracting, is what I do after this, okay? So having -3, if I were to subtract, meaning take away, 5 negatives, okay? Subtracting 5 negatives, now what am I left with, right? I still have all these 0 pairs, and I get left with positives left over, okay? So let's do that again. So I started with -3, and I subtracted, or took away, -5. Subtracting a negative got me a positive answer. And that's so crazy, but I can see everything happening here, and it makes so much more sense for me, okay? So let's just leave it with the +2 now, okay? And if I have a +2 and I subtract negative again, right? So if I have +2 minus a -2, we'll just take off 2 of those, right? Taking away the 2, I'm left with more positives in the end, okay? And so being able to see those kinds of things are really, really helpful for the students, okay? So let's go back to our -3. If I do -3 minus +2, take away positive, more negative is left there. So we really think about these everlasting pairs of 0, right? Pairs that equal 0, and being able to do really cool things because we have the manipulatives. Okay, so where things are, it's all about these equaling out on the number line kind of setup, these pairing off with each other to equal 0. And so if we have addition, right? So if I have +5, right, and then a bunch of zeros, and I add -2 onto that, I have more 0 pairs now and only 3 positive. So adding the negative was like subtraction, okay? My end result was there because remember, that's infinity. And so being able to see this aspect in cubes can be a big change for the student. So being able to use cubes for addition and subtraction with integers makes a big difference for it.